Well, we're back. You heard me? This is Chris Gotti Lorenzo and my partner, Don Dinero.
Hola, mi gente, giving them the business, the negocio. We're back.
That's right.
First and foremost, let's thank everybody. I don't know what episode this is going to end up being, but we have a bunch under our belt. The ones that have come out, people have showed a lot of love, a lot of support.
A ton of love, a ton of support. I appreciate it all. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? We're just going to keep going. We won't stop.
Some of them are going to have guests. Some of them will not have guests. We're going to hit the road soon. We already did something dope with DJ Chuck in North Carolina. That's right. So grow with us. You're going to see this grow and continue to do. We're going to put our little twist on it. And at the end of the day, it's going to be what's the business? What's the money play? And one of the things that we want to bring up today is that it might be a young lady's dream or fairy tale, and it might be a young man's dream. It could turn into a nightmare. But one of the biggest contractual obligations that you will get into in your life is called marriage.
Oh, man. I've been in it.
I've been in one. Most people who are in their 30s or more have probably gotten married. I don't know what the numbers are, but like Lil Wayne say, the numbers don't lie, right? One of his records, women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. And I think it's way over 50%, the divorce rate.
Yeah, divorce rate is at 64% right now.
All right, so that means that, let's say, out of 100 people, only 36 stay married.
Yes.
Okay, so, we've seen a lot of different situations where divorces and the women take half, and justified. They probably deserve half or even more. They help build whatever it is. But I would say that
that's going to be a hell of a topic to talk about, too.
From a business aspect
aspect.
Once you sign, you can get married at church, but you need that certificate to make it legal from the city or the state that you're in.
For the government to look at you as a married couple, right?
As a legalized entity.
Yes.
Because now you can file your taxes together. Now everything, you can buy a house together. There's a lot of things that you end up doing together. So it's actually a partnership. You're creating a partner, not only in the game of life, but also from a business aspect, because if you own property, if you own a business and you get married, unless you have something that's called a prenup, then everything goes both ways, 50-50. And going forward, if you do not stay with her the next 50 or 60 years, which the probability of you staying with her the next 50, is probably 3%. You have a better chance of winning lotto these next 60 years than staying married. I'm just saying.
Let me ask you a question, because I don't want to stay where it's
wait, before I finish, and marriage is the only contractual deal you would make that really is emotional, and it's a 4-letter word that we throw around.
Fuck?
Love.
Oh, my fault.
Because fuck is actually, the legal term is fornication under the consent of the king. Back in London, back in England, in the supposedly motherland of the...
Not my motherland.
No. This is supposedly motherland of where I think the main source of white supremacy, but that's a whole different subject that got pushed on colonizing the world and everything else. If you wanted to have sex with a woman that you were not married to, you had to go in front of a judge and get permission to fuck her. And fuck meant fornication under the consent of the king. You had consent to smash her, right? And that's kind of where the word fuck, as far as my little bit of research I've done, comes. But I'm using the word love. I think that when we marry someone, from a man's perspective, because obviously I wouldn't know how a woman would think about it, but as a man, you marry a woman once you realize, hey, I want to kind of build with this person, I want to go forward. You kind of also want to say, hey, the commitment to her, you take her off the market, especially if she's beautiful and all the other things that men look for in a woman. And then you take on, and then you invest in one particular day. It's like a big celebration, a big party. Before that, you have to go to City Hall and sign the legal stuff. And right?
Usually the woman pays for that party, the family.
Well, traditionally, depending on what tradition you're in, right? I think that in the United States and in a lot of other countries, the father of the bride is that's why the woman pays, because it's really the dad that's supposed to kind of spring for it. But sometimes in this country, many men have married women with minimal resources, and they're the guys with the money.
Sure.
Right? And they kind of end up paying for everything. But at the end of the day, the man, whether it be the father or the husband-to-be, has to put a little bit of skin in the game and spend money. So most of us, or some of us, get married. Some guys get married 3 days in, 3 years in, 3 months in, whatever you decide. You will sign a contract that is emotionally driven through love. That could, at the end of the day, if you pick the wrong partner, what we've done in business and everything else, can end up backfiring you, can end up you not being able to see your kids, can end up to a lot of turmoil. And to pass the ball over to you, we kind of see Kanye and Kim kind of going through it when it comes to that. So even though Kanye has a ton of bread,
I watch. We're all spectators from the outside.
Yes, we are.
Right? And again, Kanye. I fuck with Kanye the long way. Shout out Kanye West.
Shout out Yeezy.
Yeezys. They on my feet right now.
I really think he's when he said it, I think he's a genius. If you
absolutely, if you didn't see the documentary, I will tell you to go and watch it again.
He's a genius.
Go watch that.
If you're a creator, if you're in our business and you understand what it takes for him to do what he did.
Hey, even if you're not, because what it will give you is the perspective of an artist in our field, in our culture,
yes,
and the things they went through. Some of the things, and this is just one man's journey, but it's super inspirational, and I always keep recommending everybody to go see it, not just artists.
And even what he did with this new product with the stem and how he was able to really, he has an ability to change this entire cultures in the market. And he's an incredible, powerful human being. I think when it comes to the culture shift, probably the most influential because of fashion. If he associates himself with any company, if Kanye West right now was to throw on a Cuban Connection shirt, it's over. I think my company will just crash because I wouldn't be able to fill the orders.
You wouldn't be able to keep up.
I wouldn't be able to fill the orders, right? I have an account full of money, and people say, "Hey, I ordered the shirt 3 months ago."
Let me tell you,
I had 100,000 orders a day for 27.
Yeah, I want to stay on topic, but I will give you a quick Kanye West story. It's like my son, huge Kanye West fan. One day, probably about 12 years ago, we were in 22, so it's about 2010.
The beginning of Kanye's kind of taking off. He's going at that time.
He's moving. He's popping.
Yeah.
And he's the first person to put Kanye West in perspective to me.
Okay.
To make me understand his relevance, importance, and where he stands in this hip hop culture. And I'm gonna, I'm bad with timelines. I'm saying 10. It could have been 11. It could have been a
13,
different year,
doesn't
right?
matter,
But when he did that to me, it made me look at Kanye West.
But what'd he say?
A totally different way. Again, his effect on pop culture, of what he's done, accomplishments, his music, accolades, and career, which, of course, I knew all of these things. I just didn't look at it the way a younger person was looking at it to put him in that perspective and why he's so meaningful to this culture. So when we talk about his marriage and business, again, him marrying, let's say, Kim, again, we know the Kardashians, and again, shout out to them. And this is very personal to them, and I would never want to get into any of their personal life. I see certain things from a growth and development standpoint from this marriage that came about for both sides, not one-sided. Let's say Kanye West was more on, let's say, unsure footing in the sense of all his business endeavors when he first got married, and then all of a sudden, I really believe Kim helped. I could be wrong, but Kim helped solidify or give him certain stability to make him actually do what he is doing to become this huge, wealthy, successful entrepreneur, music, fashion icon. Like the list goes on, visionary that he is, and that is what a marriage to me represents. If you find the right one, and I thought they did, and then to find out them not being there is sad to say. At least, it's super sad.
How many children do they have together? 3?
4.
4. Holy shit!
4 kids from this man, and then to leave and in the.
And how long they worked together? Over 10 years, right?
I'm again bad with timelines.
I'm saying around.
I hardly know
approximate.
mine. I definitely don't know theirs. But to see how fast, in my opinion, I don't know how long they was having troubles or whatever. And yes, I'm gonna assume it's a handful dealing with a man as powerful as Kanye is, with all his demands and resources things that he has to do and help and deal with. And
but now in this situation with legalities, where he can't, she has all the control over the kids. There's this other guy from Saturday Night Live who's in the picture now, all of a sudden, or maybe, well, I'm just, I'm not going to sit here and throw a little salt on the wound, but someone said they seen him driving with Kanye's kids on the, right, so Kim
this is all part of what happens when you separate.
But when you separate, again, I'm going to speak for the men. As a man, when I see another man around my kids, it feels a certain way, and then I'm saying, how would you allow it? You think it's okay. So she's also making decisions as he's probably a cool guy, but man, that's hurting Kanye. You know for a fact exactly what you're doing, and you're like, forget it, it's on this. So going back to the marriage part, because they're married and because they had kids and because of so many of the fucking deadbeat dads that have been around, the good dads get a bad rap and have no control in a situation like that. So it doesn't matter if Kanye has the $4 billion he has or he had $40 billion. She still has control. She's got a little cheese to put on her Whopper, so she has.
She had her own money. Let's
no. That's what I'm saying. She has her own cheese to put on the Whopper.
She may not have as much as he just made, but she had her own money.
No, she has. They're in that almost billion as a family. But what I'm saying is that
her sister is a billion. Kylie's a billion.
What I'm saying is that when I see the situation he's put in now because of what we are, So again, now it at first it worked for him. She's helped him get there, but right now, I hope he can get through this. And
for me, it's all when you're dealing with your kids. I went through a divorce. My biggest challenge was when I was going through my divorce was my daughter with my wife, and I wouldn't allow a judge to tell me when I can see my daughter or not see my daughter, and I asked for a recess during the trial, or the divorce trial, right, or whatever you want to call it. And I told my wife at the time, or my ex-wife at the time, that if she allows this judge to tell me when I could see my daughter or can't, I told her I would get rid of every dollar I had. I'll give it away so she can't get anything, and I'll burn the house down that I built and help make our home in. She started crying and everything. Again, it's a hard time, all right? When you start something and it has to end, it's not like we go into it thinking this is what's going to happen. I'm sure Kanye didn't believe this is what's going to happen.
No, I agree.
Nor Kim. But once
nor yourself or anybody else.
But once it does happen, she has to. No matter what, in my opinion, happens, if there has to be a level of respect for each other and the kids that's involved. The child has nothing to do with you and this person not getting along anymore. You brought someone else into this world. There should be a level of respect. And I seen with Kanye and Kim, again, I only know because he went on publicly and said he doesn't want her with TikTok, and he sees Kim as putting her on TikTok. Like, she's not the normal child. She does not need TikTok. My daughter, I took social media away from her until she was 16.
I just feel the societal pressures for us to get married, high school, go to college, graduate college, get a good job, get married, have kids. There's a business play. When we get back to it, is so many people feel getting married is the next level. If you're 29, 30, and you feel you're still single, you haven't gotten married, your mom and your dad are saying, when are you going to get married? Oh, if you're a female, if you're a guy, right? There's that pressure. But isn't there, I'm just asking you, isn't there societal pressures to get married?
Of course.
I think you could still be with someone. I think you could still be with someone. And this is a kid who went through a shotgun wedding in high school.
There's so much pressure on getting married inside of business, even same sex. They fought for that.
Yes.
They want to be able to get married so they could reap the benefits of the marriage, of what that is in the United States, what it's valued at, what it's worth. taxes, insurances, all these things. You get different breaks because you are a married couple.
Right. There's a business
versus being
play,
a
right?
single
There's a
person.
business play because there's, like you said, might be discounts, might be whatever. You
Yeah.
put your income
So
together.
it's all business when you get married from the eyes of the government, United States of America. You know, that
But your
legal
impulse,
document
marriage
to-
is the only business transaction that you're probably going to do, or one of few that is strictly predicated on love.
Well,
What unless you love the building and music you love, but you know them. So I'm just trying to say we can't because you know. But think about that. You're gonna make
I could get married to stay in this country.
true,
I could, you
but
know,
that's
but that's business.
but that's not supposed to be. That's not in the eyes of. You can't be that way in the eyes of the government. That's why they put those rules in. They check to make sure you're living with each other, and people got to live because it's really not. People do that, but that's the hack. But that's not really the play. The overall play of marriage, when you do get married, when you say, "Hey, I'm going to Pepito's wedding," right? And it could be us tomorrow getting married. We never know. It happens. You fall in love, and you look at it and be like, "Remember that podcast episodes we were talking about the marriage shit? Look at you now, right?" It happens. You meet somebody, they rock your world, you fall in love. What I'm thinking is marriage is the only contractual business. Yeah, lock the top, Billy. A contractual business you'll ever get into that is strictly dominated by those 4 letters of love. And there's fucking
Since
involved.
you're talking about dominated by those 4 letters of love, I want to, again, an event that happened a while ago, again, at the Oscars with Jada Pinkett and Will Smith.
Yeah.
Is that the act of love, him going up there smacking Chris Rock, who to me he has every right to do anything he wants to Will after that. But again, he's saying he did it. Hold on, he's saying he did it for his wife, to protect his wife, when this man's job is really to make jokes. The joke that he mentioned wasn't obsessively bad in any stretch of your imagination. She has a bald head. He mentioned Jane too, which is about a female person in the army that had to shave her head. Again, aesthetically, it's not about she had to shave her head. It's just that's what she looked like in the movie. She cut all her hair off, so she would be more like the boys. But all he did was make a joke about her. Now, what if he didn't know about her having this case of what is it called, alopecia? Where she's losing her hair, and then she shaved her hair off for that reason, or it wasn't like he knew about these things or was trying to make fun of it, and then Will goes up there and smacks him. Now this business of marriage here with Jada and that word love you talking about, because he said keep your name out of my mouth and all of this volatile things towards Chris, and again Chris handled it as I don't know anyone could have handled it better.
I think it was the culmination of like a perfect storm. I think whatever Will was going through inside with what Jada's basically publicly, for the average man, would seem humiliating, and he's figured out how to deal with it. And here comes one moment when Chris Rock begins the joke, you can see he's actually laughing with Chris Rock.
They both were.
Right, so something happened.
One more thing happened with Chris Rock. He said, after the joke, he said, that wasn't so bad. So what that means to me is, again, if you didn't know, they probably already spoke about being on stage making jokes. And he was like, that's not so bad to Will and Jada. Like, I didn't talk about August twisting you up in that entanglement situation. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
there's
why
also,
wasn't that same animosity and anger handled towards August? Like, Augie, as she wants to call him, she got her nickname for the nigga. Like, come on. Like,
well,
fuck,
again,
what
I
is-
mean,
what
the
is
one
that
common
about?
denominator in all this is Jada, but I would also remind you that in 2016, Chris Rock was also hosting the Oscars, and Will wasn't nominated, so this Jada boycotted, and then Chris Rock is on stage saying, Will, we understand you did blah, blah, blah. And he goes, Jada, why are you boycotting? No one invited you anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So
but they're
you
friends.
even laughed. Yeah, but what I'm saying
But
is
they're
that.
friends.
So listen, what I'm saying is that so people say, here we go.
That's his job.
I get it, Chris. I'm not knocking that. But what I'm trying to tell you is that, so there was that little history there that, people laugh at it, but they kind of boom. He gets to that moment, the perfect storm, the Oscars. He's the first time he could possibly win himself, which he ended up winning, which is the irony of the whole fucking night, right? And I think at that moment, he felt national TV, fuck it, and he made one of the worst decisions he could ever make based on defending Jada, when he could have just handled it afterwards if he felt a certain way. And at the end of the day, Chris Rock was doing his job, telling jokes, right? That's all it was. So, again, I think that Jada just came out.
Apologize to Chris publicly.
He did not.
Anyone.
He did not.
Or anyone when he.
But
made
I heard
his
he
apology.
resigned from the Oscar thing.
He was forced out.
I heard Jada just said on not too long ago, a couple of days ago, mentioned.
I wish he didn't smack him.
So it's like
she's toxic,
right? So what I'm saying goes down again.
Toxic, yo. If you
He's
got a
probably.
woman like that,
do
run.
you think he has stayed in the marriage because?
Run, Forrest, run.
Now, who you think has generated more money in that relationship from their career?
It's not even a close.
Okay, so let me finish. So now he's not even close. So you say, why does he stay in the relationship? Maybe he's been advised from a business standpoint, yo, it's cheaper to keep her and stay with that shit, because if you go, she's going to smash you for half and stay with the house and stay with everything.
No,
and Augustina, she's going to bring his career back and invest all your money in him. No. And who the fuck knows what's going to happen? No,
I don't believe that could be. Again, we're all speculating.
But this is the great thing about us. Right. I don't want you to believe it. This is the shit I believe in.
But what I'm saying is, again, Will's a super successful,
super duper star.
Even if he gave
just won an Oscar.
Even if he gives away 99% of his wealth, he's gonna make it all back in.
Of course,
that's how big he is.
Yes.
So once
his kids are big.
Once he, if that was the case, now he might be doing it for them. That could be a part of it. But once kids get a certain age, it's no longer needed, in my opinion. Like my daughter now is 22. There's no more co-parenting needs, in my opinion. Meaning, my daughter's a young woman. She's going to make her decisions. So once your children get to a certain age...
Excuse me, Mrs. Smith. Together, you're worth $1.3 billion. If you're divorced, you're only worth $300 million.
Okay, so what's the problem?
I'm staying with her.
No.
$1.3 billion.
What's your happiness worth? See what you're saying? I would never, me personally... And especially, it's because he could go make more.
You're a different monster.
No, it's just, again, if you're talking business, this is business. What's my sanity, my peace of mind worth? Hold on. What's the difference from someone that has $1 billion and has $800 million? Fuck it, $500 million. Are any one of them doing something they don't want to do? They're doing exactly what they want to do still. That was one of the things that I had mentioned to a guy, Rob Johnson, about selling BET, because I said, the money from that, it didn't change your life. You're already a billionaire. You didn't get one extra home. You didn't get one extra car. You might have got a bigger boat. You might have got a bigger plane. You might have. But that's what I mean.
But I think your perspective comes from a different wisdom. Because if you ask somebody who has $500 million, hey, would you like to have $1.3 billion? They're going to say yes 99.9% of the time.
Jeff Bezos happy or not?
Obviously,
gave
he's
his
building
wife
rockets.
all those hundreds of millions of dollars.
And he's going to get it back.
Billions of dollars.
Because in his mind, he made
I don't mean to lose a zero, but
right.
You know what I'm saying? This 1 0 is big in this game. So he got a billions of dollars to his wife, his ex-wife now. She's now the biggest philanthropist. She gave away, I forget, $200 million for, I forgot what cause. I'm so bad. But $230 million to one cause. This is what she's doing. She's giving that money away. Why? She's not happy. And it's not saying, and yes, she has an excessive amount. My question would be, did she help build the business? You know how I look at it? He was cheating on her while they was married. And that's his guilt. It was like, take it. I can't spend this money in my lifetime. Enjoy. I'm sorry. That was his I'm sorry to her. Like, just take it. I'm not going to fight over it. Just go. Take half.
I think when the love leaves, then the marriage ends, no? Is that fair?
Well,
most marriages, some people stay in it.
Let me ask you a question. The love leaves, do you still carry love for them? Meaning to hope they do well. Now, some yes, some no. Like, again, some of these women there, that woman scorn shit, let's say. I feel Kim has a little bit of that, right? With Pete and Kanye. It's in And it's like,
is that why she's giving him the business right now?
Yeah, this is part of the scorn that she must have felt, that she feels. Whatever it is, I feel it might be some type of scorn she feels towards him, and that's why she's doing that. Or else she would never disrespect Kanye West or allow her children to do things. That's the father. Like, don't go against the father's wishes. Even if you're separated, it doesn't matter. It's still my fucking daughter. And that's when he speaks, I feel that so deep, because that's how I felt when I went through my divorce. I'm like, I don't care we're not together. It doesn't mean we can't still understand and respect each other's boundaries. We do. That's not what made us break up. Me being unfaithful made us break up. You being unfaithful made us break up. These are the things that made us growing apart.
I mean, every relationship, they have their challenges.
That has nothing to do with what we feel about how we raise our children, or our child, whatever it may be. And that's the bottom line.
One of the challenges that when there's X amount of money being involved that either the female or the man is generating is, in order to generate that kind of wealth, you're not really doing the everyday family stuff. You're not picking the kids.
Absolutely.
Right, because I'm pretty sure those were one of your challenges.
What's the number one rule? You want something, you have to give something up.
You got to give something up.
So you're giving up being the best dad.
So what I'm saying is that in order to be, again, the sacrifices that relationships bring, and I don't know if the numbers are right, but say most divorces that are requested come more from women than ever do from men. More women request a divorce. This is what numbers say. If I'm not mistaken, it's like almost a 70-30 split, where out of 10 divorces...
I'm only laughing and smiling because it makes me think of someone that I follow on the gram, right. And I watch his shit, and I'm going to give him a big shout out. I don't know this man.
Right.
His name is Kevin Samuels.
Okay.
And he's a beast.
Oh, with the women.
He's a beast when it comes to this. And I definitely want him to get him on his podcast and go through it, because he breaks down exactly why, from a business standpoint, and what makes men a catch versus not a catch in the eyes from a woman. And he breaks it down financially. And again, it's exactly what you're saying, because see, that divorce, the reason the judge gives them that money is because it's all business. When you look at all the things that the government supplies and gives out money to, it's mostly women things that's orientated, because a single woman with a child, they got to pay for the kid, they got to house the woman. These are these are the things most men don't get that. The woman gets that.
Yeah.
So from their eye and viewpoint, they're like, we're supplying all this money and resources.
Like 90% of child support checks are going to women.
So we want you to stay married, because when you're married, that doesn't happen. The man goes out and gets it, or you build together and you don't have to use the government's money to actually survive. So this is one of the things that gets broken down with Sam when he talks. I mean,
I think child support got created because
Kevin Samuels does that. He breaks all of those down in a very articulate way, and it makes you really see why his opinion for women and successful women like a Kardashian, it's very hard, right? What does a man want? Do they want their peer on business and everything, or do they want someone that's helping them take care of what they're doing? These are things you have to understand from a woman's perspective, which is going to be an episode we do, because when we do that episode, it's going to be fireworks. I'm going to bring in some nice women in here, some real good guests that's been through things financially, went through things, everything.
Even this episode, let's be honest, it's me and you, two OGs, strictly a man's perspective. So
both
we're going to...
divorced?
I mean, again,
Was you divorced?
Well...
Not technically?
Yes, because I got married super young. I was 17, 18 years old when I got married. Because, high school, whatever. And then I got divorced after I came home from vacation or whatever. Right. So I didn't really count that. It was high school sweetheart stuff, boom. And after that, I always had a bad taste about marriage. I was in relationships. I had 2 kids with Sandra. I was in relationships, but always had a bad taste because there was nothing really that I lost over there. It was always, as I went forward, I just looked at it as not that I don't ever want to get married, but it's like I always looked at it has to be it has to be a business decision, and it has to be a long-term decision. Can I rock out with this individual 10, 15, 20 years?
So How are you thinking from a business decision? Someone is gonna wipe your ass, or is it now? Because again, we're not young kids no more.
Because I think I put time in with my kids, and if I marry, if for someone to wipe my ass, she's gonna either have to be super younger than me.
Yes.
And I don't think she's gonna want to wipe my ass. She's gonna want to fucking ride somebody else's cock probably and take half my shit. By then, if she has to wipe my ass, I'm not hitting it no more, right?
Oh, man.
So the only ones that are gonna wipe your ass are your kids, and that's why we put time out on our kids. So they hope. That's why I tell you one thing, and I said it, and I don't mean to kind of bring it up, but your dad is someone I extremely admire. And I remember when he was still walking the earth, I looked at him, and I don't know who I told in your family, and I was like, look, I can live to be that guy. I've lived my life because he was surrounded by all his kids.
Yeah.
You know, all you need is one of your kids to pop it off for that's the theory, for everyone to be okay as far as the game of life going forward, right? Because it's not all about money. What I've always seen with the family was love. So to me, that's the end game for me, right? Because when it came to wiping his butt, the kids would have done it if
I did it.
So and your mom was there, but now that she wouldn't do it, you as
she
the
wasn't strong enough to hold him up or move him around.
Okay.
So, she would have did it.
So when you see me,
the funny part is he expected her to.
No, I know. But what I tell you is,
I'm like, Pop, he was
blessed.
Do it. She's
he
too
was
weak.
blessed to have a partner to rock out all those years and create all those beautiful kids. But when you see me at times, me and you have had conversations, and you be like, damn, you could really be over here if you wanted to. I'm be like, yeah, but the time I dedicate to the kids and that is I'm hedging them. I'm putting all that time in now. So later on,
Prince, you hear that, Prince?
Prince, no, Z.
That's your no.
Desiree,
Prince,
Jose.
it's you. You wiping that ass, boy.
Nah. It might be my grandson Jaden.
You're right.
But you see the little grandson, it might be them because the grandkids end up being even closer at times. But we're just creating that journey now.
Yeah.
So life, we start realizing, is a series of journeys. So, in conclusion, the partner who you pick, who you decide to marry, can be an incredible. This is what I'm saying. It can make or break you. So, I would always tell someone, if you get a chance to educate yourself or focus on a trade for the next. Say you get out of high school and you don't go to college, get a trade, get something you love that you can focus on in the next 4 years. But even if you don't get a certificate, it'll take you about 4 years to master that.
Yeah.
Is that right? That's cool. Whether you're a rapper, whatever. If you're focused on it, you're on it every day, and you focus on it, and then from 4 years, and then I would say, once you focus on 4 years, then you can start making money from that. And when you make a decent living for yourself, then I would say, if you decide to get married, don't have kids until you get married. Because some of us end up getting married with this one, but already have 2 baby kids with some,
shit happens.
Exactly. But that shit in this country ends up economically hurting you.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't marry her, then there's still.
Trust me, I know. I had my son again at 21. Before I was married, and and then even with my daughter, I get a divorce once she was less than 1 year old when we got a divorce. But I was with the baby mother for well over 10 years, 12 years, and at the end of the day, again, I ended up paying that cost you're talking about of both my son and my daughter at the same damn time.
Well, I that is, to me, I want to. This is, ironically, I don't think I've ever done that. When I want to give a big shout out to both the mother of my 4 kids, Maribel, who's the mother of Jose and Desiree, and Sandra, who's the mother of Z and Prince, that never gave me any strife, never once at all thought, we all go through our ups and our downs economically. Because of the people that we are, oh, my bad. I'm trying because the people that we are. I'm trying to light the cigar. Sorry, guys. I don't know, bro. This guy over there in the blue with the. Listen, we got all day, homie. Relax. So, at the end of the.
Crib.
Yeah, big crib. Nobody shouts them out, but I will shout out the mother of my kids because they have been incredible human beings. They never gave me a problem with my kids, even though I gave them a ton of problems in relationships. And you were kind of father I am, and I would sacrifice anything for them. And they never, ever attempted to add any extra government aspects to it because they knew I was took care of them. If I had it, they had it. If I didn't have it, then listen, hold on. Can you hold on? Can you make it happen? And we all go through our ups and downs. And I was at the top at one time, and we've been at the bottom. But, you know, I just want to thank them because I see what a lot of guys go through with their kids. You feel me? And they go through hell. They go through court systems. They go through a lot of other, you know, things that really put them down. And then you see a lot of dads that kind of don't even want to be around their kids. And sometimes we say, hey, he's a deadbeat dad. And sometimes, no, it might be the mom making it so difficult. And maybe he's like, you know something, I'll figure it out later. And unfortunately, it's a bad decision.
It hurts the kids.
But because it hurts the kids. But,
no.
You know, I'm blessed that I didn't really go through a lot of that. But it's because I've always tried to be there for them. If not only financially, but actually physically, you know. So, but marriage, I didn't think about it. And I know, Chris, you went through it. I don't know if you'll ever go through it again. But it's a tough business. One. Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna wipe my ass. You heard that, ladies? Get your tissues ready. Wet wipes.
That's the goal. That's the goal, kid.
Don't worry. Because I'm 54. I'm not talking about today.
Wait, but how we ending the show? How we show the young ladies? Listen, make sure you marry somebody that's gonna wipe your ass when you get home, or wipe you out,
or wipe you out. That's it. It's one or the other.
Hey, be careful. Be careful who you pick. Squeaky.
These are all jokes.
No, they're
jokes, but I'm serious.
Seriously jokes. Kidding, but not kidding. Bruce knows.
Yeah. Big Crip, no. It's all good, though. At the end of the day.
Rez ain't saying shit. Someone went down. And nigga said,
leave Rez out of this.
Rez gave up half his shit already.
Hey, Rez don't want to talk nothing about this episode right now. He's happy. Leave him alone. Ish happy, too, right now. Squiggy. Jay happy, too. Only Dex, me, and you are miserable.
We ain't miserable.
I'm not miserable at all.
The problem is when you have so much wisdom, you're
good, man.
Ignorance is bliss. Look.
I love everybody now.
Hey, yeah, I do. I love everybody, but I ain't getting married. let that sink in. Swagata. And the episode is over.
And it's over. And this is another episode of Givin the Business.
Yeah.
Chris Gotti and Don
Chris
Dinero.
says get married. I said no.
Be careful, but in the business, know the business of marriage when you get into it. I know it's love. Understand that, but there's another part to it that
no te cases.
That you will have to deal with, whether you like it or not. And that doesn't mean you get divorced. It does not mean that. And just if anything you do, it's a decision of this is your life partner, basically. And you have to know that's what you want to do in your life as well. But you know, it's all good. Yeah,
it's similar.
Good luck, God bless. I'm from a family. My mom and dad was together forever. My dad passed. They was 66 years together. Like, come on.
Chris.
That's it.
How many other people you know like
Listen, that's a blessing.
Okay, so you are one.
A very few.
Your entire family is different. You cannot compare your family.
But it's something you look for is because you've seen it. So you look for it.
No, we do. And we keep looking.
And looking.
And we keep looking.
And looking.
Yeah, no, and I'm extremely happy. Listen, I'm extremely happy. Single. If I'm in a relationship, I'm an incredible catch. I wash dishes. I pop the fucking potato in the microwave.
You've seen how I move. I'm military, baby.
Right. No, listen, I barbecue great, but that's not it. I just want to, I want everyone to understand that. I hope you're in love. I'll never discourage. My son got married. He's getting divorced now after 5 years. And
Jose, hold your head, boy.
Hold your head up, boy. Listen, so I don't knock it. Z and Prince already know what the deal is. Graduate college. Don't have kids before you get married. And we're gonna.
The last words.
The last word is, marriage is like a record deal. Once you invest your time, you have terrible interest, and you do not get to keep the property once you pay for it.
And that's a last word from Don Dinero. You know what I'm saying? Giving the business. Again, we have fun here. All good. Again, I am for the marriages, and good luck, God bless. You know what I mean, with all of it. But if it doesn't work out, You just got to keep pushing.
You gonna pay like a motherfucker
and get your checkbooks out.
Yeah.
We'll see you in the next one, man.
Now, if you don't get married, you can do a Tyreek Hill and say peace.
We out.